Hello, 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 Sanibonani, beautiful people. Ninjani, Ninjani, Ninjani. Happy Saturday, happy Saturday. First Saturday of the new lockdown level. How are things? What's happening where you are? Valiwe manja tops. Did you buy enough to last you the weekend? Or are you one of those people who drank everything they bought before the weekend came? How are you guys doing? It is a Saturday. And today we have a guest from Swaziland. Well, it used to be Swaziland, but now it's Eswatini. Zoe host, hello. Yeah, I need to speak to you. I'm going to call you after the show. Queen of Sports, hello, 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 hello. And Precious Mpofu, how are you doing? Well, our guest is not here yet, but we are hoping Guti he's going to join us very, very soon. And guys, if you live in South Africa, have you heard about this rough salt and spirit thing that people are doing? Please let me know if you have heard of that, because I just thought people are just crazy for even thinking that's, I don't know. If you haven't heard of it, they put salt and vinegar, I think it's, yeah, under the bed, and you're supposed to see your enemies at night, and they wake up. Goed. Hey, Dolly. Dolly, how are you? How are you? How are you? It is my pleasure. You guys, you are also giving me a life. It is so nice because I'm so used to having something to do. I was getting like really, really stressed. But now at least I have something to look forward to doing on a daily basis. And I'm actually going to be working on the channel now and improving it and making it better. I need suggestions on the kind of type of shows that you want. We've got a new episode of Judge that I uploaded today. So if you have not seen that, please do watch it after the show. Oh, yeah, Precious is saying people are really doing that. And some of the photos that I have seen, oh my God, they're too scary. I don't want them on my channel. They're just, I think it's just, that thing has some satanistic elements of it. It just, for me, it looks like it's satanism. That's why I don't even want it on my platform. Like, how do you even expect to see your enemies? And when you see them, what do you do? Some people are even sleeping with nopkiris and they wake up being the ones who were beaten up. Yes, hi, sis Thenjiwe. Hey, Vugani Vilagazi. Uthi sawubona Mam Thenjiwe. Thank you so much. Really appreciate that. I love you too. I love you too. And I really do love you guys. You guys give me a life. You don't even understand. Yeah, head of those. Please greet me, sis. Just bought. Hi, Sihle Mtshali and Tsebo in Joburg. Hello, Sihle Mtshali and Tsebo in Joburg. I love you guys more than salt and vinegar. I don't believe in fear or traditional subconscious mind. I believe in the universe. I agree with you. Hey, there's just, yeah, it's the same like making kids believe in tooth fairy. But people are waking up being beaten up. So this one might just be, I don't know what's happening though. Let's not even talk about that rubbish. Let us welcome our guest. Our guest is here all the way from the kingdom of Eswatini, and he's going to explain to us why it's called Eswatini. I did do a show about it. If you haven't seen it, I think I will link it up. Dr. Shakes.
Hello, everyone. How are you? How are you doing?
We are good. Wow. Oh, proud with Swaziland. Did you have to show the flag?
I do, because now I feel like I'm international, guys. I'm so international. You're from London. You're in London. So I have to wave the flag. I'm representing. you know,
How are
because
you doing? Mm-hmm.
here in Swaziland, we only have one flag. So today it was my chance putting it from the government offices because they are closed during the lockdown. So I told them, guys, I'm going to be representing the country. So just give me the flag. How are you? How are you doing?
I am good. How are you doing?
I'm
There's a
good. I'm
funny
good. I'm good.
noise.
Sorry?
There's a funny noise. Let me see if it's coming from me or from you. Is the funny noise still there? No. Let me. Okay, say something.
Yes, I'm good. I'm just coping, trying to cope with this lockdown
That's
thing.
perfect.
It's
Okay,
perfect.
what we're gonna have to do is when you kuluma, I will mute, and then when I kuluma, I mute you, because it
Oh,
seems like it's better like that. So, how is Swaziland during lockdown, and how have you been affected?
Swaziland during this lockdown, it's confusing. It's confusing, like serious, because we don't know what's happening. No one explaining to us what's happening. We see people from South Africa, they are going with levels. You've been doing more entering level, happy level. We are bowling a Sabawell levels, but with us, it's just vibes. We're just waiting for Ramaphosa to announce. Then they come and edit here and there with opening tops. No, we're not opening tops. Let's open ShopRite, you know. So, and then as an artist, it is hard. It is hard to cope because we are also not going out clubbing. We are also not allowed to host events and everything. So I know most artists are going through a tough time. Some artists were living with this thing, were living through their art. So now it's hard. It's hard for them to make a living. Also, okay, to all the promoters, if they are watching, all those promoters who are saying they are paying us with exposure, guys, exposure pelile manje. We can't be eating exposure right now, and they are not coming through for us. They are not coming through for, because you, have you ever got that call, someone calling you saying, hey, but I know, bro, kudla kutabe khona, you'll eat. Like, I'm not here for food. I'm not here for food.
You know, Dr. Shakes, I do not do exposure because when I go to a supermarket, I don't fill up a trolley with food, and when I get to the till and tell them, I mean, I'm Thenjiwe, but I have exposure. Don't you know of me? I mean, even last week I was exposed. Me, I have exposure, so I do not do that. You'd rather just tell me you don't have a budget and you'd like me to do it for free. Do not try and negotiate with exposure.
Mm, mm. Like, you know, you have boy this thing, what you call it, money, what, money bank. God, it's not an exposure, this thing. So it needs money. That's one of the things that's hard being an artist here in Swaziland. People are not taking the art serious. Some people, it's just now during the lockdown, others would say, wow, this thing was important for our mind mentally. Mentally, we do need to go out. Mentally, we do need these guys. Now we are missing these guys with Dr. Shakes. Where are they? Where are they now? Yeah, well, now it's time people were shy. Like, say, that's why we don't know. We're waiting for the government to tell us what is Bianini. You know.
It is difficult. How long do you think it's going to take for us to be able to go back on stage and fill up the venues? Because for me, some people are like, oh, like churches have opened, allow us to have 50 people. I don't want a show for 50 people because it's so expensive to put up a show, unless it's going to be 50 people that are going to pay a lot of money. Because at the end of the day, if you wanted to do a decent show, imagine if I come to Swaziland or you come to South Africa and we can only have 50 people. Financially, it doesn't make sense unless you're going to do those shows where you don't care about making things proper. Number two, because usually the 50 tickets are just paying for the sound guys. They're paying just to have proper sound. And then secondly, I don't want my audience social distancing. You've seen even when we have shows and people are scattered, you have to tell the MC, get them to come together because it's such an intimate thing. Will you go back if they say we can go back, like the churches are now going back, but have limited numbers, and people have to keep 2 feet. Is it 2 feet or 2 meters? 6 feet, 2 meters. Yeah. And also, do you think comedy can work in that situation?
Honestly, I don't think comedy will work in that situation. Like as you said, as a comedian, you're having a tough time. There's someone sitting embili, someone sitting like we need our people together. The laugh need to come to you. It doesn't need to come, So for me, this side, before lockdown, I was supposed to host a show. And my show fell on the day. He is good indeed. Oh, thank you so much, Tabo. Guys, don't do this. Yes. So for me, before this lockdown thing, I had a show. Or I was supposed to have a show, and I've paid my cost, everything covered. Then they announced the lockdown, and the show never happened. So now I'm on zero. Everything I've paid for everything. So I don't believe it would be wise for comedians to go back, go buy a good and host shows, but about 20, but 50. We don't need those numbers. Comedy shows are not like a mason for churches. So Emerson, they don't have to pay for revenue. They don't have to pay for his sound. They don't have to organize. They don't have to put up Emma poster. Oh, Queen of Sports is back. Yo, this one is so loyal. She's so loyal. She's so loyal. Like, Mason, they don't need to put up Emma poster. Would say, hey, this Sunday we'll be having Pastor so and so this Sunday. But I need to market my show. I need to put up, would say, hey, next week I'll be having Thenjiwe. Thenjiwe needs to travel from South Africa to Swaziland. Thenjiwe needs a room to sleep. Thenjiwe needs some food. Thenjiwe needs to be shown around. All those things, they're coming from my pocket. So I don't believe Gutsi. I feel like a pastor right now. I'm talking so fast. I'm talking with my hands. Okay, let me just relax. Let me just relax. So it definitely won't work. It definitely won't work. It definitely won't work. We don't need 50 people. We need to. This coronavirus thing needs to be our new normal. We need to live with it now, because we can sanitize, we can put on our mask and everything, but this now we need to live with it, just accept it, and it becomes our new normal, and we go back to our lives.
I think I totally agree. There's a question that I'm looking for that I saw earlier about why don't we do virtual shows? Do you think we can do virtual shows and make money out of them in Southern Africa?
Southern Africa, we can, if we can find a way to make people pay. Maybe, I don't know, I've been seeing this thing fans only. I don't know what it's about, but I do believe it's about those girls. Fans only. So we can, but then I've been seeing some comedians making like funny videos, like comedy shows here on social media, your Facebook, your Instagram, your YouTube, like all for free. But I don't believe that's for all of us. Some of us can't put up our content for free, like that content, like content that we write. Like people need to pay. People need to pay. But a virtual show, if there's money in it, also get a sponsor who's gonna say, okay, Thenjiwe, I'm giving you like 50,000. Please do this show for me. People on social media. That can work. That we can do. But let there be money behind everything we do, because we don't want to find ourselves. Now there are people who have been performing for exposure. There are people who've been performing for free. Now they don't have money. The situation, now some people are depressed, some people now are hungry, because what you've been doing before is now catching up with you now. So yeah.
For me, I think it is possible to do virtual shows. You have to have real fans, people who are not following to consume free content. Because what you guys must understand is that not everyone who follows our work supports our work. and not everyone who supports our work financially. Otherwise, we would be filling up stadiums based on the following that we have on social media. If we could translate that into real paying fans who come and buy a ticket and see a show. So we are struggling, G. Number two, with platforms such as YouTube, because at least on YouTube you can make money to buy bread. It's not money that's going to change your life or make you get a new car. Like you're still going to have your Benny and Betty, but it's fine. It's not going to get you. It's not going to afford you a hairstylist. Yeah, all sweethearts, come, let me do your hair. You can't afford with my YouTube money. Anyway, if there are ways of making money, and other comics and content creators from other countries, there's something called Patreon. I've had Patreon. I don't even have one Patreon member. Patreon is like people who pay, like it's members only. Content that you create for people who pay maybe R9.99 every month. Southern Africans do not want to do anything with supporting. That's why I'm even changing my content into English, because my supporters who are English speaking, who are not from my country or my tribe, they financially support. Even South Africans who tend to support, majority of them are those who are outside South Africa. And obviously when they're watching, they want to watch with their friends, they want to watch with their spouse. So with us being these proudly South Africans, proudly Swatini, wanting to do content in our language, it doesn't help us financially. It doesn't help put meat on our table. So we have to go back and re-strategize and see what we can do, even with something as simple as super chats. You don't get super chats from people who are in South Africa. You have only, somebody will receive 2 in a year. But majority of people who will give you super chats are people from other countries. So maybe we have to diversify our content and make it inclusive to people who are outside our countries. Number 2, things like GoFundMe. I've got a GoFundMe page. I've got people who've donated, because when this happened, I was in America, blah, 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 and we were planning to do a movie, but I was going to shoot the movie based on them with the money I was going to make from the tour, which then had to be cancelled because of COVID-19. So now I asked people and fans and people who were going to support me, like by buying tickets to the tour, there's no limit, just contribute anything. Can be $5, can be $2, can be $1, can be anything. Please contribute. Can be 10 rands, can be 4 rands. Please contribute. I've had contributions, but majority of them are not even people who are in South Africa. So it makes you question, do I want to have 500,000 followers who are not financially supportive, or do I want to have 600 followers who are really helping me out, who are supportive? What do you think of that?
What you're talking about, like Masai Buisa to something real with the music industry. We have iTunes, then there's also Fagaza, where they download music for free. On iTunes, they buy. So most people, what I've usually seen is that they support the Fagaza because it's free. But then at the end of the day, they're gonna come here and say, "Oh, your music, bro, your music, I'm your fan. You know, I'm your fan. I support you. But how are you supporting me if you're getting my music from Fagaza and I'm not making money?" So I don't think Vele. I think what you're saying about changing your language to accommodate the people that are out there is the best way to do things, because we know that those guys, they support, but our home people, because one problem that we are facing here in Swaziland is that Swaziland is so small, everyone feels like a celeb because Bonana every day is Chaisana every day, because Swaziland is that small. So everyone is feeling like I'm a celeb. So if I'm supporting Dr. Sheikh, who's gonna support me? If I'm supporting a ball, so it's just it's pity. So I don't think it will work. It will work here. So taking things international, I think that's the best move. That's the way to go. We're not saying that our people are, but we are saying that our people are, you know.
They are not, but they are. Yeah. I'm getting so many comments about people wanting to know about the doctor title. Is it a name? Is it a profession? Please explain why Dr. Shakes.
I knew that question was gonna come, and I always get that question, and I'm always getting that question. But tell us, Dr. Shakes, is it a profession? Is it what? Tell us, guys. Dr. Shakes comes from, okay, the doctor in Dr. Shakes comes from the line that says laughter is the best medicine. So who's there? I'm prescribing it, of course. So I put myself, I'm a doctor myself. Not that I'm a doctor PhD wise, but I am also a doctor PhD wise. PhD past high school with difficult because high school was so difficult in that way. So yeah, there's no rocket science involved around it. But when you ask me, would see the shakes, where does the shakes come from? I don't know because I'm not shakes. Like in my home affairs, there's no shakes. Like, but the doctor comes from laughter is the best medicine. I need a doctor. Call me a doctor. Then Dr. Shakes comes out. That's where it comes from.
Sorry.
Hello.
So, Dr. Shakes, you know, my first ever one woman show that I did was Laughter is the Best Medicine. I know it's so cliche, but I was like, I have to call it this because at the time it was also medicine for me, and I knew it was becoming medicine for a lot of people. And I had obviously just quit a certain profession to become a full-time comedian, and I was testing the waters, and I was like, you know what, I'm going to do this. And I took a chance and I did it, and it did well. So laughter is the best medicine. So now I qualify as Dr. Thenjiwe or Nurse Thenjiwe.
That's Dr. Thenjiwe, yes. Like if you don't create your own happiness, who's going to create your happiness? Call yourself whatever, Professor Thenjiwe. Like just create your own happiness because if people gonna come, hey, oh, so what I'm a doctor. Because whenever I'm doing corporates, the respect that I get from the MDs, the managers, and everything, because hey, wow, this guy is a doctor. Until I go on stage, guys, it's me. I'm not a doctor, you know. So, but then the respect that I get before going on stage, like, wow. So this guy, why you get this profession and became a, you know, but by profession, I'm just a marketing. I do marketing. So if there's someone there with your camera, you're struggling with your camera, like, now let's make the extra bucks since we are on this lockdown. Because one person, I sat down with one person and we were talking, and he said, do you know that a lot of these artists won't come back after this COVID-19? And I was like, wow. And it's true, because now some people are like, hey, I want to study online, hey, I want to do this. Because our parents, when we started this thing, comedy, when we started being a comedian, comedy and everything, our parents were like, hey, you need to have something to fall back on, you need what to fall back on. But if you have vision, you know what you want, you know what you need, like you just need to be a visionary. You need to know what's okay, my end goal is this and I'm gonna stick to this. You won't find yourself going into comedy, going into comedy, like pulling back. So if you're on your lane, just stay on your lane. That's it.
That is so important. I want to read this message from Siyabonga Prince Lwande. Thank you so much for the message, Siyabonga. Uthi lelo vangeli lidinga ukushunyayelwa ngothando nokunikeza abantu incazelo ehehayo. Nginesiqiniseko ukuthi umuntu okuthandayo, he or she will support you financially without hesitation, Stage. You just said you have patron, ignore my spelling, and as a member, I can do that to lead the way for you. And now, Mr. Shakes, you will be the following. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Also, Udolim Wes was asking about the platform, your Patreon. This is the link. I have posted the link. What happens on Patreon is there are different levels. And then if you are a subscribing Patreon, you get different benefits. For example, you get to see videos that I don't publish, like my stand-up comedy videos that I don't put on YouTube. You get to see, say, episodes of Judge Thenjiwe that I don't put on YouTube. Even the things I'm going to put on YouTube, you get to see them first. Maybe you see them a week before the rest of the people see them. And sometimes we do exclusive lives where it's only people on Patreon. The benefits are listed on each Patreon. And that also helps me to be able to continue with the platform. And I'm now really considering becoming a full-time YouTuber. I want to be like YouTubing every day and become a full-time YouTuber. I want to give it a go. I've just taken the year off with comedy, even if they say lockdown it finishes tomorrow morning. I'm not doing any stand-up comedy at all in 2020. I just want to concentrate on creating online content and perhaps shooting something, because with movies, I think you can still shoot. It's going to be difficult, but you can still shoot. It's just that you have to reduce the cost and just be extra careful, and it's going to be extra expensive. But yeah, I just want to create content. And with me, I'm very big on owning my content, because I feel like I don't want to be, maybe it's because of my law background, I don't want to be another Joe Mafela who's very well known on TV but owns nothing. When I'm gone or when I'm older, my children have nothing. For example, if those people who entertained us when we were growing up had owned their content, because even when you read the script, it becomes your words. I'll still do TV here and there, but not as my full-time job. You like, this is rubbish, and then you give it your words. You're not credited as a writer. You're just an actor. You don't own any percentage. You've been paid, it's done. Imagine if, say, let's just use Ubabu Joe Mafela. If he had owned Scoot is Nice, even with the fellow actors, and now they were uploading it on YouTube, look at the views it gets. Their children will still be eating from it. So I'm big on owning my own material, because I don't want to sit there and just toy and complain. I want to create my own stuff. Even on this channel, I've got over 1,000 videos. They all belong to me. I can always remix them if I want to. I can always decide this one I want to do in another language now, or this one I want to do it but make it COVID-19 relevant. There's so much you can do with it, but it's mine. If I go, my son can decide what to do with it. So that's why I love platforms like YouTube, because I believe that as Black children, let us own our things. Let us own our things. It is very important.
No, what you've just raised a strong point right there. Like, Black child, it's possible. Black child, it can be yours. Like, you've just raised a strong point. Like, you talked about, you don't need to be toying yabon. That takes me back to me. I started comedy in 2014, then went on. 2017, 2018, I stopped kancane nje. And I just reflected, could see, what do I want as a comedian? What do I want to do for myself? I don't need to be depending on my bookings, on my promoters. So now let me just start creating my own shows and booking people. Now let me be the guy to book up people. Let me be the guy it's okay, I'm giving you this money. I'm giving you this money. Now everything is on me. Like, because it's so sad. It's so sad to see a full house performing. You kill it. They give you 500 and you go home. You're like, what? But I was just at the door and that guy was counting like more 10,000. You know, it's so sad. It's so sad. And if anyone here is an artist or anything, I can promise you that you'll never go wrong by putting up your own shows. Even if you start by having 2 people, 3 people, you will never go wrong. You'll make your name for yourself. You'll make a name for yourself. And who knows, maybe there's that one person who'll be watching like, wow, your next show is on me. You never know. But we just need to get out of the comfort zone and face the things like, okay, let me just do all the groundwork, and I'll do the backstage work, and I'll do the stage work. You know, there are comedians in South Africa. I've went like having a show the next day. I've drive in the morning. I drive in the morning to Johannesburg just to fetch a comedian, come back to Swaziland. You know, like all the things. Like I'd be the guy who I don't delegate. I'd be the guy who's hands on, doing everything for myself. So I believe, would say, whenever I do the work for myself, I'll get the things that I want, how it should be done. That's how I try coher stress for myself. And if you're an artist, again, I'm gonna repeat this. Please do your own shows. Your name won't be the same. Things will change. I'm telling you, me for real, for real, for real. I'm struck God. And you'll come and thank me later. Come on this channel, comments, and just say thank you once you've done it. Post COVID, create your shows.
Yeah, I really think it is very, very important that we understand that it is show business. So don't just be excited about the show. Understand the business as well, because there's no point having talent that you cannot monetize. It is show business. And for so long, especially as South African artists, we've taken control of the show and binopopaya badansayo, but abelungu are the ones that are taking care of the business and collecting the money. We don't even own into zethu. So it's very, very important that we change that. Awukhulume, Doctor.
Yeah, that's true. It's very important to we own that. Like on Twitter, what, I think a month back, artists were on each other's faces talking about owning masters and everything. Like it's so important, guys, to own what you have. Like this comment that Precious just put up here would say that is one thing our old folks didn't realize because we're still listening to old music. Yeah, but they never own their music. But if they own their music, maybe as they needed donations. Like it's so sad. It's so sad. Ubona a fellow artist and a legend in the game. As donations, it's so sad. Would say please donate for so and so. That makes our parents this thing here by artists and everything. It's not working. Look at this guy, he's been on TV doing this and this, but now because of I have to be donate my donations, my donations and everything. Like we need to treat this thing as a business. Please, we need to treat this thing as a business. Like if you're hosting comedy shows, go to the bank, open a bank account. Yeah, my shows are okay. Whenever I want to host a show, I don't need to start on a zero budget. Of course, or maybe on the first first shows, you're gonna start on a zero budget. But then as the shows grow, make sure there's something which I'm taking from this. Okay, my accounts, I ended my accounts grade 12, grade 11, 9, 10. I don't know this thing about opening and closing, but then you need those things. It's okay. My show, this opening balance your corner, closing balance your corner. Like you need to treat this thing as a business.
You know what happens when Dr. Shakes? Thank you so much, Mfundo Khoza. That's very, very true. What happens is you end up having artists, people like you and I, saying, I've been in the industry for 48 years. I couldn't buy a house because even though I was on this soapy for 76 years, I was just on a yearly contract. So the bank couldn't trust me with a mortgage. And then you find a woman who sells sweets in a primary school. They've been able to buy a house. What causes that? Number one, we overvalue ourselves. We want a Hollywood lifestyle when we don't have a Hollywood budget. 1, 2 times you see people on the screen, they walk through the mall, 4 people want to take a photo with them. Suddenly, they must move to Sentin. But the pocket is still in Alexandra. The bank balance is still Alexandra. But now they're celebrities. So that's starts. Secondly, they understand it is a show business. Even if you are contracted, register yourself as a business, register a business, so that you are employed by your business full-time. It is your business that is contracted by a soapy, but you are employed full-time by the business you've registered. So when the soapy pays you, they pay the business, and the business pays you. So you become a full-time employee. That's where you can buy a house. The bank can trust you, because when you take a contract to the bank, you're not taking a contract from generations as you are hired for one season. You are taking a contract from the entertainment that says you have a full-time permanent job.
Yeah. Why are you drinking ice tropez on a Mtomboti budget? That's the thing. Like, don't settle for something, because also our people, also the people that are out there, supporters, if I may call them, offense, I think about they give us this mentality, you could say, but expect too much from us. Would say, hey, now uvele on SABC, now uvele on ETV, now uvele. So I'm not expecting to see you kule molle on this mall. Now I'm expecting to see you on this mall. I'm not expecting to see you like Alexandra now. I want to see you Santine, my suburbs. Now you need to be stable. But then, like, you know yourself, like, if you know what's good for you, which I tell you, you'll never go wrong. You'll never go wrong.
And as Africans, we must work on our mentality, because the history of our country has really destroyed us. Because you'll find even African designers, the South African design, they have an opportunity of a lifetime to go to a TV to have an interview with Oprah Winfrey. They're wearing Fendi and Gucci. Even you don't believe in your own design. Even you are not buying other designers from Africa. How are we going to grow? People, South African actors, will never promote a movie that they are in. They don't promote it. Black Panther comes to South Africa. They even dress in their traditional regalia to go and support. So it also starts from self-love. Do you love yourself? Do you believe in yourself? We don't even believe in things that we are in. They will never, but Jabulele is success of someone that, yay, I've got a new Patreon. Thank you so much. I haven't seen who it is. I just saw a message come through the computer. Thank you so much.
I had the notification again, and I thought it was in contact. Hey,
thank you so much. Really appreciate that. Really appreciate that. Yeah, so it's very important that we become the better generation, not just for us, but for those who will come after us. It's very important that we support each other. It's okay to support a black child. It's okay to support umuntu ofana now. It is 100% okay to think ukuthi ishow, because people will complain, Shakes, the Dr. Shakes, 170 rand show. Yet you are telling them jokes that are relevant to them, that are really making them laugh. But Kevin Hart comes, they will pay 1,500 without questioning, and they'll come out saying, I couldn't hear a thing. His accent is fast. I couldn't hear. Or they come out asking, so what is this? Because they've never been in America. The point of reference, it doesn't relate to them. But because it's someone from overseas, they are worth the 1,500. It's okay to pay it and not question. But when it's you, the local boy, 170 is too much.
Yes. This thing comes back to when corporates are booking us, So in Swaziland, comedy wasn't there 7 years back. So corporates would call comedians from South Africa, bring them to Swaziland, pay them like very good money, pay them like, wow. Like, because we now talk with these guys, we now talk with these comedians like, oh, in 2012, I came to Swaziland, I did a show, they gave me 170,000. I'm like, wow. But last year they called me and they gave me like 3,000, So, and now you're comparing things like, okay, so these guys, they don't take us serious, because we've tried to do all the right things, like by the books. We've tried, like, okay, guys, you need to like brand yourself, be a brand. Like all those things we've tried to do, like household names. We've tried to work with the media in everything for us to be household names. Our names are built on the boardroom for a Christmas party and everything. But then comes a Christmas party, you find he's from Swaziland. Who's your chief? So now they're now taking this thing cultural, like man, sheikhs, you can't charge us 30,000, my guy. Come on, sheikhs. As I send 5,000, like that's way it dies. But then after the show, they come back, yo, bro, you killed it, yo, hi. And then other members, like the organization, the employees, and you tell them 5,000. Oh, the budget was out for this thing. Our budget was 20,000 for entertainment, and they gave you 5,000. That's what's killing our industry. That's what's killing our industry.
Yeah. Utemba, Uti, I think one of the best options for all of us here is figure out how we're going to make after lockdown for the results, if high economics results. That is so true. And you know what is even scarier? Some people have lost their jobs and they are not even aware. They will only be told when the companies reopen, but decisions have been made. But you are not being told. You have not been told. So it is such a scary moment. A lot of people will lose their jobs. A lot of people have lost their jobs and they don't even know. And I think it's very important to be independent, guys. Those graduates who say they have a business degree, why are you unemployed? Whose business are you waiting to run? Can you understand if the markets where Mama Betu are selling, if they were run by black business graduates, not only will they improve, there will be standards and we will end up making serious money. Can you imagine if those tuck shops Eskoleni were run by business graduates? The things we look down upon. Look at our tuck shops. People were excited when the malls came to the townships. I was not, because I thought of it as a bad thing for a black businessman, because that person was going to town to buy bread and come back and sell it to us in the township. That business was now no longer. And black people are not owning the shops or running the shops in the black township malls. We need to do things where we're going to take back control. Let our money be spent on us. Let us spend our money on each other. It is just so sad. And it is Amasand 8 that make millions. It is Amasand 8. If every black person can stop going to, say, ShopRite, and we start supporting Obabu BL, his tuck shop could be like ShopRite.
Yeah, what you're saying is so true, Thenjiwe. It's so true. Like, I was reading this thing on Twitter, Black Lives Matter, and they broke down the statistics. Could see black people, they contribute so much to the revenue in South Africa. So I was like, and they were protesting. Could see maybe starting next month, black people shouldn't buy anything. They should just withdraw just stay with their money. Like, put your money away. Don't buy anything. Let's take down the economy now. So that's when I realized, wow. So there's so much power in black people. Like, there's so much power in you. Like what you've just said now, it's waiting to be employed by someone. We don't need to wait to build someone's dream. Like ShopRite. You are at school, with the university, you are waiting to be a graduate, then you're going to work for ShopRite. That's someone's dream. You're working early in the morning, waking up early in the morning about 8 to go and build someone else's empire. Like, that mindset, if you can start, I know it's hard to start, but then if you can start and say, I'm just making this Dr. Sheikh's brand, I'm just making this Thenjiwe brand, in the next 5 years, it won't be the same, I'm telling you. Like, wake up and build your own empire, your own, for your legacy. Like, please. Like, now I want to read this comment. Like, yeah, thank you.
Read out loud, Pela. We all wanna hear.
Oh, so you wanna hear? Dr. Shakes, thank you, Puti. Ubuhlakani. I'm following you on your channels, CCT. Thank you for everything. Hashtag the Kambules, you know, my battery is dying, but don't go and put it in the charger. My battery is dying, but please keep the show so to watch tomorrow. Escom is busy. You guys, Escom is doing what to you? Like, you guys, a relationship in with Escom, like, yo, shame. Yo, like those are the problems with never have in Swaziland. Electricity things, electricity is like water, electricity is like oxygen here. We just klishipanya. They never klishipanya for us. No, South Africans, poor Ramaphosas. No.
Yeah.
But thank you.
Sorry. Kulum.
I was saying for the comment. Thank you.
Oh, thank you so much to Dolly. I've got a new Patreon. I think I will do a video explaining about what is Patreon and how it works. I will thank you so much, Dolly. I really appreciate you. God bless you. I really truly appreciate you. Ngizokufakela ama-episode awu-5 ajudge tonight. You can watch everything they haven't seen. They must know. Exactly. Ake sizithande sizithembe futhi sixhasane. That is so true. And guys, please also, while we are talking about ukuxhasana and supporting each other, please subscribe to Dr. Shakes YouTube channel. I've just posted the link now in the comments, but I've also got the link in the description below. So please do subscribe to him, Angeke Uzisole. And can I also explain? Facebook and YouTube, it shows the same data. On YouTube, when you subscribe and when you watch our videos, we get a little something from the adverts that they play. So we really do appreciate you watching from Facebook. We totally appreciate it. But if you can, please do try and watch from YouTube, and please subscribe. It's absolutely free. But the more subscribers we have, the more adverts we get, and the higher the CPM per adverts that is posted on our pages and on our videos. So please do support us. Just by subscribing, you are supporting us. Yes, Doctor.
Thank you for those words. Thank you so much, guys. Please do follow us. Like, these hard times, we need you. We need you. Please, we need you. And there's also a great initiative that we've raised here, Eswatini, as comedians. Our people have been there for us. Now it's our time and chance to give back to these people that have been paying their 150 at the gate, paying their 100 Temalaganese. So we are grateful to everyone who's donating. Like, we are pushing this Ped a Girl drive with a pedestrian organization where we donate pads to the girl child. So what we do is, okay, how it started, I just post a picture of myself as handsome as I look right now, and then a like on Facebook that was equals to 1 Emalangeni. So it went up to 2,000 likes. So that was from me. I donated 2,000 to the organization so that they buy pads for the girl child. Also, people came through and donated their money. Like, we are so grateful. We are so grateful. Thank you so much to all the people that are watching here. Thank you. We are not taking this for granted. Like, all the positive messages. Like, guys, you don't. I mean, earlier this week, I haven't been feeling well myself. Feeling. So this message is like, they uplift the mood, guys. They really do. Like, seeing all these things, seeing what Thenjiwe coming through, like, Shakes, I'm gonna host you. Like, wow. So Shakes is still out there. So my brand is still out there. My brand is in London. So I'm still relevant. So thank you.
You are crazy. I like what you guys do, and I'm actually planning to do a show sometime next week I just need to work on the channel and rearrange and have like proper times for different shows. I like what you guys are doing with the pet drive, where you're giving sanitary pads to girl children that come from places where they can hardly buy bread. So that's very important, because I always say, and you know I'm big on such initiatives as well, because I always say, even with homeless women, I always think of giving them sanitary pads before anything else, because nobody thinks of that. And for me, I'm always like, at the end of the day, just because they're homeless, they haven't stopped being a woman, and they haven't stopped going through that thing every month. So it's very, very important. And when you hear stories like that, but I want to do a show based on a comment. I think you saw it on Twitter, which angered quite a few of us, about some, I think American or European, but some from the Western countries, who are saying how African men, especially in particular in Eswatini, in Swaziland, but something, please explain what she said. It really annoyed me.
Yeah, some white lady, since we are on this Black Lives Matter, she just decided to divert everything and bring it to Eswatini. Like she said, Eswatini men still stigmatize girls, menstruation. Like we still, but I saw that and I didn't want to entertain her. I was like, wow, this one doesn't know what she's talking about. But because again, what's killing us is the people who are asking for donations from those white people who, whenever you go and kangeta your hands, you mouth everyone, you mouth your home so that they give you what you want, they give you the dollars. That's what they do. So because when we ask her, we'd say, okay, your information, where are you getting it from? She kept on calling one lady. This one is telling me all the things. So I just saw, okay, so this one, kahle kahle, ufuna imali yakho mlungu. By mouthing would say men, like, because she said men in Africa, in southern part of Africa, they still stigmatize menstruation, like it's taboo to them. Then she said it's big in Swaziland. Yo, I was like,
so bad, like they even kill women when they who are menstruating. I was like, we celebrate that. We even have specific traditional events where we celebrate girls who have arrived at this stage. But anyway, let's not dwell on it, because we are definitely going to do a show on it. We celebrate that. We do events where we are celebrating when a girl comes of age. We celebrate, we slaughter, and we anyway, and you guys have been doing this pet thing for years. It's not a new thing, even when you do shows. But guys, we need to tell our own stories. We need to tell our own stories, because until the lion learns to ride, the tail of the hunt will always favor the hunter. That's why you have people saying they were attacked by sharks, as if a shark swam into their sitting room or bedroom and ate them, when they are the ones who are going to attack the sharks.
you know, okay, I know what I'm going to say. Some people will be like, but someone said, white privilege. Oscar Pistorius has never set a foot in jail. Exactly. And I so found it fun, like, okay. Like, true, it's white privilege. Like, he has never said this bastard, like, God. But yeah.
That is so true. There are many dwelling words out there, Sis Thenj. I am a technology guy. We'll be in touch soon. We need our own Patreon. You guys thinking of this show today? You know what, guys? I am a firm believer that we need to learn from countries like China. At China, they don't do Facebook. They don't do Uber. They created their own apps. Let me tell you a thing. With all the following I have on, let's just use Instagram, over 250 something. Every time I upload, it's nice. People are liking. As you guys are watching this, guess who's making the money? Not you, not me. people who are making the money, abantu baga YouTube, abantu baga Facebook, and the networks. And all of it, as much as we're gathered here entertaining each other, the people who are making money are the whites. Because they own no Vodacom, they own no MTN. You buy airtime to come and watch Thenjiwe, but Thenjiwe is not making a cent from that airtime. And with platforms like YouTube, yes, we'll make something, but they also take a percentage from your contribution or from the ads that are posted. So YouTube doesn't have to create a video for them to make money. Thenjiwe has to create a video for whoever owns YouTube to make money. So until we own our own apps and our own platforms, until we own our own Instagram and we own our own, there's a company, a SIM card, airtime, data, you own no shakes or you own no smoking. But we're just consumers. We buy, and everyone makes money out of us. We even things that where we gather and you like we even call things all Black Twitter. But who's making money out of Black Twitter? Every time we post and we trend, who's making money? Even the person who's trending, people are excited. I'm trending this week, but who's making the money when you are trending? Not you, not your followers.
Yes, because Facebook, Mark Zuckerberg doesn't put up any content on Facebook. That's true. Those people are just working there. We put up the content. We call the world to come together. Like, guys, that's why on my CV I've got like I'm an author on Facebook. Like I'm a writer, guys. I'm an author on Facebook. So, Mark Zuckerberg, they never put up these things. And then again, you touched on China. In China, they are creating their own things. I think as Africans, sisabulawa mentality yokuthi it's Thenjiwe, I want. Yabo, it's Thenjiwe. So the mentality exapotana here in Africa, like still killing us. It's still killing us. So and then one guy came and said to me, okay, if you want to start a business in Swaziland, just go and register it, be at the back, never be seen, maybe give it an English name, just so people to say, wow, hi, I'm buying these shoes. They are from Andrew shoes, but who's behind them? It's Dr. Shakes. So they once you come out and say, so guys, thank you for buying my shoes, like, it's been new. You see, so our Black people, Black sisters and brothers, we don't believe in supporting each other. We don't believe in that. I don't know what's ifapi, isalapi. Like whenever, even if it doesn't cost you a cent, like me posting a poster, a comedy show poster, all I'm asking for is just your share. Please share with other people. It doesn't cost anything, but it would be hard for someone to just press that share. Like, guys, share. Like, just mention your friend, mention them and pass. They'll come but what's this about? Like, just share. It doesn't cost, but it's hard for us Africans to do that. What's in bona show ya Thenjiwe? Like we are see the depression in Africa is Mona. Mona is killing us, guys. Mona.
There are too many monikers. There are too many monikers in Africa. Sinomona, Lomkulu, and Udingu Pela. And you know, when it comes to that, I'll tell you a true story. Lona, there's a post I just saw. I think ilaban be Bitcoin abanestin about that you wanna make you a billionaire from home. Anyway, I once in one of the businesses that I ran, I was having a problem with the employees. They were misbehaving. They were not respecting the person who was supposed to be in charge. The person who was supposed to be in charge was not being in charge. And things were just going wrong. And I know it's nice, and that's how it should be. My grandmother gave me the solution. What umuthi womuntu omnyama wumlungu. I went, ngathola a homeless white guy, ngamgeza, ngamgqokisa, ngamenza manager. He didn't know what to do. All he did was go to work, sit in the office. Everything went to normal. People came to work on time. People stopped coming to work drunk. People behaved. Umuthi womuntu omnyama umlungu, and we must stop it.
Yo, I, come on. I man, no ways, no ways. Yo, but then it's true. Like umuntu lomnyama, umuntu lomhlophe, umlungu siyamsaba. You see this thing with cashiers, like the same respect that they give a white person, it won't be the same that they give it to you because of the skin color. A cashier would smile at umlungu, like come umlungu, tit, tit. You come wena lapha, you know, but ungaze uthi you don't know who I am or what, but
Bazabathi, ma'am, not just occasion, immigration, South African immigration. I travel a lot and I travel with different people. You walk in with a doctor from Ghana or a billionaire from Nigeria. They will be questioned before they are let in the country. You walk in with a homeless white guy from Australia. It's welcome home, sir, because immigration is supposed to ask, how are you going to survive in the country? How much do you have? They never ask white people because automatically in their head, Umlungu has money and we are regarded as thieves. But who's stealing countries? Who stole cultures and countries? See, now we just steal TVs and shoes. But we are the ones who are painted as thieves.
Yeah, that's true, and so it's so sad, because one thing to all the people that are watching out there, I think, guys, we should be the generation that, because okay, one thing I like about Belungu, the serious white people, is that their kids don't have to struggle from zero. Their kids, maybe they usually struggle from level because their parents pushed up to level 10. Their kids have to start there. And we need to be the last generation later in Makaya, guys. Our kids need not to start building us homes. Like our kids need to start. That's how we can change the situation we're facing, the situation we're in. Like our kids need to start with, okay, I don't have to build my parents a home. They already built their home for themselves. So now it's on me. Like if black taxi yet goes way back. You have to start building before you start working. Like your first salary when I saw again, like then now you are going back.
We are that generation that's going to have to do that, so that our children don't have to do that. But having said that, Umlungu, they don't have to be born rich to have white privilege. Nobody ever questions why a white teacher can afford to live in Mhlang, but they will question why a black CEO can live in Mhlang. The same black people, the same scorpions, Abamiyam, will go and want to investigate why a white dentist is living Eswatini, but they won't question why a white police guy, knowing how much police are getting or traffic cops, is living Uma suburbs. For us, we really have to have a lot of money with big profiles just to live with average white people. You have to be the best to live with average white people. It has to stop, guys. 26 years later, and nobody ever questions. Nobody questions Uguti, how come this unemployed white person's children are going to this white school? Because they go for free. We are the ones who are paying for them, and we are excited. Without us, there's no economy. If our own children started going to school in the townships, who would be taking the buses going into town? When do your research, even the houses in the suburbs, a house that's $1 million now, umlungu othenga again wayithenga ngo-30,000 rand, or wayithole for free as an RDP. And when are you leaving your home to go and live there? In prison, where even when your mother wants to come, they must report to a security guard and leave their ID at the gates. We love being prisoners.
I think we need to stop. We need to stop this slavery mentality. Like it needs to stop, guys. This apartheid mentality would say Umlungu will always be superior than me. This thing needs to stop. Belungu, we like normalize ukuthi Umlungu uyahlupheka, guys. Normalize that. Ukuthi nemlungu uyashayeka. The only difference that we have is the skin color. Like, guys, see, we are privileged. We are dripping melanin. Like, come on, like, we are beautiful. Like, blacks don't crack. Blacks don't crack.
When people see a homeless white person, they will say things like, "Oh, this is not fair. It's not fair. You know, this country is going down. Now even white people are poor." And you're like, "But we've been poor for centuries. It's okay. We are strong. We can take it. But it's not fair when it's white people. No, no, no. This is not what we are voting for. The ANC mustn't do this to our white people. No."
You know what? You know what you're saying? What you're saying? Like, what you're saying now? It's me. When I went to Durban, I saw like white people struggling, white people, but like, and I was like, wow, guys, what's the ANC doing? Like, black people were passing by, and I was so touched when umlungu ahlupheka. Like, it was my first time, because in Swaziland we don't have labelungu street. We must street kids semlungu. Like, if we'd have street kids semlungu here, I think I don't know.
And I also,
I don't.
before we Dugisa people, can I just make it no, Nuguti, those are not our white people. Those are not our white people that Mandela left us. Our white people are living comfortably in suburbs. Those are Mugabe's white people. You know, because they ask you for dollars and they call you Nkazan. So let us just make it clear. Those are not our white people. Those are Mugabe's white people. Our white people had it good after apartheid. They are still reaping the benefits of colonization. They negotiated very well. They didn't suffer.
You know what? I think the ANC, on their next campaign, they should maybe issue out T-shirts, written a disclaimer. These are not our white people. Like, give them to the white people. Like, these people, we don't know them. These people, like, no, guys, no. Like, how did they...
Out of Bulawai. We make them T-shirts straight out of Bulawai.
They need those. I think that's what is going to work for them. Like, guys, these people, disclaimer, these people are not ours. Like, because it's like, black child normalize ukuthi umuntu uyahlupheka. Black child normalize ukuthi you too can make it, you too can be rich. It's all in the mind. Like, listen, it can take
now people are going to school with them. Some of them are very dumb. And we must also make it a point. Our languages are valid. Just like Black Lives Matter, African languages matter. English is not a measure of intelligence. It's just a language like other languages. You don't have to speak English a certain way in order to make it in life. You do not have to. That's why you find people, they concentrate too much on English and forget everything else. The next thing they were waiters and waitresses, speaking big English, asking a billionaire from Ghana and trying to tell us how to pronounce things. English is not a measure of intelligence. If you can go to Manchester, the white test of the whites, they are homeless with their English. It's what's here. It's what's here. It's English. It's not a measure of intelligence. I mean, I don't care how I speak mine. I speak it the way I speak it, and I will always speak it the way I speak it. Come to my Zulu, I'll give you A grade.
Exactly. Speak your English the way you want to speak it. Like, don't care. Like, guys, the winning formula is just here. It's not English. You can go to the boardroom and speak your English, but zero proposal. Come with my Eswatini. I get the proposal. Like, it's like it can take you like 3, 5, 7, 10, 15, 20 years to get that 1 year to break through. Who knows?
Anyway, we you see, guys, I always tell you, comedy is not a joke. Comedy is not a joke. If you listen carefully to your comedians, you will realize who are the real comedians. Comedy is not a joke. There's a difference between comedy and nomacoba. Tina, we are the voice for the voiceless.
Yes, now that you're talking about being a voice for the voiceless, that's true. Because I wanted to tell you about the situation in Swaziland and everything. In Swaziland, like as a comedian, you're not allowed to say anything, but because comedians are the voice for the voiceless, you need to voice out the things that are affecting you, affecting the nation, affecting the people, but they don't see. But you just at them, you put them in a respective manner. So I once did that, and you know what? I felt like a celeb, guys. Like, yo, the papers were on me and everything. I was summoned to the higher offices. Like, guy, you need to come and apologize for what you said. You need to come, like, write. Me writing now. You need to write for the government an apology to the government. And me. Like, you know, God works in mysterious ways, guys. Like, when the singer says, take down, that was me. Because God will touch it down.
Please tell us about that story. And also, you remember the story of a certain South African comedian when we were doing a Swaziland comedy festival, I think 2 or 3 years ago, who also had to go and apologize based on the jokes he said. Please tell us that full story. Those 2 stories, please.
Okay, I even remember the name of that guy we hosted. But then my story, because you know how Swaziland is, we're still having a king. We don't have what you call president, and we respect our king. We really respect our king. But then I was just talking about my show, my first show coming, my breakthrough in the comedy industry, or my stepping stone in the comedy industry was a show titled Shots Fired, where I was just talking about people in high places, people high positions. I was just dropping shots, like shooting everyone, dropping bombs. Next thing, boom. And also the government high profiles people, like I was just name dropping and everything, like this guy, who's this guy? This guy didn't care. So chigi. 2 days later after the show, Dr. Shakes, can you please come here? I won't say the office. Can you please come here? We just saw a clip and we heard from the newspapers, the media houses, that you said this about so and so and so and so, and you need to come and apologize. Yo, we went there and we got there, we listened to the whole story, and I was like, okay. Because you know how people tell their story. Now they change everything. You insulted. I insulted, like an insult, whole insult from me. Never. Okay, apologize. Okay, how am I gonna apologize? You need to write. I was like, yo, I've been waiting for this time. I've been waiting for this moment to write. I need to write. Then a whole me now writing, and dear government of Eswatini, I hereby apologize. And yes, there's someone just said Trisha no guess. And that's a line that trended in Swaziland. Trisha. Yes. So I hereby apologize. And I made sure that I went to Google it, and I Googled apology template for government. and Google gave me the template. I downloaded the template, I wrote, put it out there, apologized, and they called me. No, your English is too big. You need to come and simplify the things for us. And then I came back. because in Swaziland we only have 2 languages, English and Siswati. So now we need a Siswati letter, a Siswati apology letter for it. So okay, ngimi lotithobako bonginkosi Dr. Shakes Dlamini. Yes, ngiyaqolisa ngaloku lengikushido kushow yami lebe yimhlakazi bani and everything. And I went out there. They called the media. You know when they're giving you a prize. So I was there holding my apology next to the CEO, and we're shaking hands. So you know something fun. And I was holding like I was holding a check. Then we're shaking hands out. Here's the apology. Then the media put it out there. Would say, okay, Dr. Shakes has apologized for everything he has said. He's sorry. He'll never say it again. Fast forward to the comedy festival. Ha! South African comedians, you guys from South Africa. I. Whenever we book a comedian from South Africa, we try to tell them, guy, don't talk about so and so. Don't talk about so and so. Don't say this. Then this one guy, I still remember him. He's not from South Africa, right? But he's living in South Africa.
He's from Zimbabwe, but he lives full-time in South Africa. Actually, I'm going to have him on the show. His name is Paran, so that you don't mistake him from other Zimbabwean comics who lives in South Africa. I'm going to have him on the show. Then he can also say his side of the story because it was just so funny. Yeah.
So we had this comedy festival. It was 3 days. So 3 days comedy festival starting on a Thursday, Friday, Saturday. He performed on the first day of the comedy festival. Everything first day. I know. My guy goes up on stage, he's wearing his black suit, black and white, he's looking formal and everything. Those, because I know Thenjiwe said he's from Zimbabwe. I know you guys are expecting a Zimbabwe. He's not a Zimbabwe, he's a Zimbabwe. Like, he's an Indian Zimbabwean, so you guys just have a picture of him. He's not a Zimbabwe, he's a Zimbabwe. So he goes on stage. We had the prime minister. If any Swazis are watching this, they know our prime minister. Okay, almost say he was a Dlamini, but then it won't make a point because all our prime ministers are a Dlamini. So the late prime minister, he's late now. The late prime minister, he wasn't there, the prime minister, but then this comedian guy went to a hotel and checked in, and he saw a picture on the wall, and he was like, who is that guy? And they told him, oh, that's the prime minister of Swaziland, because we usually have the pictures, the king, the queen mother, the prime minister. So he was like, oh, that's the prime minister of Swaziland. And if you're in Swaziland watching, you could remember that our prime minister had a lazy eye. So even in the pictures, it was like, this guy went on stage. I can't remember the joke, but he talked about that lazy eye. Then they went back home. Then the flames were left behind. We had to pull everything, the mlilo, and then the guy was called to come and apologize and everything. Like, Swaziland. There are no jokes in Swaziland. Like, being a yeah.
They don't play visa revoked, everything, go back home. You are not welcome here. You made jokes about the wrong people. I once was it Botswana? I think it was in Botswana. We're doing a show there, and we get there. Number one, we were late because we were supposed to fly. There was something wrong with the flight, so we had to drive. So by the time we got there, people are already sitting. The open mics are just playing around. So it literally get backstage, change, go on stage. And as I'm changing backstage, there's this security guard telling me, this is not South Africa. You know how you talk about Zuma? Doesn't happen here. You can't talk about this person and this, and they start telling me things about people I can't talk about. I was like, okay, they call me, I get on stage, grab the mic, and then I told them, my plan was to say A, B, C, D, E, F about this person. But since I've been told I'm not allowed to do it, so I won't. Okay, let's start the show. And I said everything I wanted to say. And it didn't even click to them that I said it. I said, yeah, that's good. It's good you told them that you're not going to say those jokes. Very good.
I know that was a smart move. Because when I went to Botswana the second time, I made sure, because they were in a period where they were having their own elections, so I made a joke about that, and the room went like, So I picked, okay, so I'm not supposed to say this thing. But then, yeah, As a comedian, you need to be smart. You need to read your audience and see what's okay. This joke, they're not taking it. Let me just, because we here at home, you're not allowed to talk about our king, and there they are not allowed to talk about their king. But when I'm there, I can talk about my king. Like, okay, then they love that. You also have a king. I was just like that too. Yeah, one of us. Our president is like that too. Like, oh, okay. So yeah.
It is crazy what we go through as comedians, guys. And have you ever experienced the MCs? Let me show them you trending in Swaziland, being in front of all the pages for the wrong reason. You must frame this.
Where did you get that? Please send me that. I've been looking for that. I've been looking for that. Yo. Yo. Your mic is muted.
I'm saying I have a very good research team, and that research team is me. I am the research team. Have you ever experienced, especially when you're doing a tour with the same comedians, or you're doing a show that's running like on multiple days, you perform the first day, you kill. Second day, the MC introduces you with all your jokes, tells the audience,
yo. You wanna get this thing happened to me. This guy is now calling me up on stage. So, ladies and gentlemen, we have Dr. Shakes in the house. Yeah. For those that labanga Dr. Shakes is this guy who makes this joke. He makes also this joke in. What was the? And then, what are we going to talk about? But then, if there's anything that I've learned from you, Thenjiwe, when last time we met, is never get the pressure from the other comedians. You're not performing for the other comedians. Maybe yesterday we were on the same stage with you. I can still do my yesterday jokes because I'm not performing for you, comedian. I'm not proving a point from you, comedian. I'm here to perform for these people. If this joke is going to work for the people, so I learned those words. I still live by those words. Those words. Thank you for them. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you. It's very important. It like also when we address our audiences, because especially when you're doing a tour, say I'm doing a show, it's going to start in London, then I'm going to Durban, Bangeni, Joburg, and Cape Town. And when I ask, because some MCs don't know how to explain to the audience, I find that our audiences are very good as long as you explain, because also you must remember they are very new to this. They are also learning. So sometimes they think they're doing things to support you, but if they don't know that they're actually destroying you. So when you tell the MC, please, because when you go to perform, you don't want to start addressing the audience. You just want to get into your set and start performing. Don't record us. Journalists, do not write our full sets, because I don't want my jokes to get to Cape Town before I get to Cape Town. Now people who are going to be seeing me for the first time in Cape Town are going to think I'm repeating jokes. Or worse, by the time I get to Cape Town, some small Cape Town comedian has heard my jokes on social media and gone to say them. Let me decide when I'm ready to put those jokes on YouTube. Let me decide when I'm ready to put them on Instagram. Don't do it for me. A comedy is not like music where you can have people sing along. Imagine if you said a joke and everyone said it along with you. Comedy doesn't work like that. It's about the element of the surprise. And in Swaziland, they have that tendency of wanting, you read the paper, you're like, yeah, and then she said this and this and this, and you're like, yeah, my whole set.
Yes. In Swaziland, I think it's a culture now. Like, we'll have a show today, then tomorrow they're gonna say, so Thenjiwe's jokes, Thenjiwe's corner, here Thenjiwe's jokes. So beginning of 2018 last year, 2019, beginning of 2019, we did have beef with beefinyana with the media when we told them that, you guys, please don't write our jokes, and audience, please don't record us. some of the media houses took this thing very, very personal. Like, why are you guys doing this? And we try to explain. And then, when you're talking back to someone, they're like, oh, you don't respect us, we'll never write you again. You don't respect us, we'll never do this for you again. But just try and get our point. Our point is we don't want our jokes to travel to as far where we haven't been to. If I will get there, I come and say my joke. Yeah, let's joke like most. So that's what we're trying to avoid. Even with these upcoming comedians, we are trying to avoid upcoming comedians. Play with your jokes now. We're like, okay, you saw it on the paper, like, because the other day you were talking with Mangaliso and TT, and they highlighted how it's painful hearing a comedian saying your own jokes while you are on the audience. Like, he's on stage, like, wow, this guy, did he see me coming in, who is just pretending? So that's so painful to see your material put out there. So if I want to have a special, I'll have a special and record everything, put it on YouTube, put it wherever, in the shelves for you to buy. But for now, let me perfect my craft. Maybe I'll record one day and sell. That's when you're gonna then borrow the city to your friends, borrow it, but then please buy.
If they can't get comedy, then why attend comedy show? You don't understand when I was stressed. Sometimes, and some of the most paying gigs are the most rubbish gigs. Some of those high-paying audiences, you go there, you perform, the women are not laughing because the women are there with their blessers. They are just there to get blessed. And they're not going to laugh because it's going to mess their makeup. And they're not liking anything you are saying because a lot of the jokes are on them. And then the men, when you finish, this is how they tell you you were good. That presentation, it was very, very good. You had some very valid points, very funny stuff, very funny. And you're like, presentation, valid points. I was doing comedy. And then the worst is when you have corporate gigs, especially for government departments. We love them. Please continue hiring us. They pay very well. You go and perform. Number one, we don't understand the language. We don't work there. Then they start talking about the DJ. I mean, I'm like, the DJ, don't worry. The DJ is on his way. I don't know what the DJ is. I don't work there. Everything has a shortcut. It's the CM and the BJ and like everything. And then you perform and you finish. You perform an hour of doing comedy. Number one, when they hire you, they say 10 minutes. And then they say, can you just do an hour, blah, 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 because, people from Cocta are always here. They're very disappointed that you're only doing 10 minutes. Please do an hour. And you're like, okay, I can't deal with this. I'll do an hour. We finish an hour and you try and Valelisa. They tell you, no, you have to eat, blah, blah, blah. And so many people want to take photos with you. Okay, you stay. As you are staying and eating, and their food is always good, by the way, someone comes, Sis Thenjiwe, our DJ just arrived. And he'd like you to go back on stage and repeat because everyone is telling him how funny you were. And I'm like, okay, I've just performed for 1,000 people. Now one person has arrived. I must go and repeat the same thing. This is not a song. I'm not Lyra. I'm Thenjiwe. Imagine. Comedy is about the element of surprise of the punchline. Now I must perform. 30 minutes after I just performed for these 1,000 people, now the DJ is here. I must go and perform again. Do you know how hard that is? Such things, do they happen to you?
No, those things, they do happen. But I want to answer Sugo first. Because if they can't get comedy, why do they go there? Because most of the people who don't get comedy are those people who would believe they're in high positions. And being in that positions for them, like, we feel like the privilege to get free tickets. Like, okay, here's your ticket, just a ticket, appreciation ticket. Please come through to my show. Then those are the people that don't get comedy. Then also, comedy in Swaziland, like, it's popular to the ladies. So a lady would just ask the boyfriend, baby, please buy me a ticket. Dr. Shakes is having a show, wara. And I love Dr. Shakes. And yeah, well, baby will buy a ticket, then baby will be there. Because as you said, it's the blesser, it's the blesser. The blesser will be there. This guy, why is he talking about the economy? Next thing, Monday morning, so you agenda M17, you are that guy, so Kulunyanga and everything. So it's really, really difficult. By totally e-commerce, they don't understand. Then coming to the corporate part of it, ha. You know, corporates can be here. Corporates can be here because for when they're preparing for the show and everything, their end of year party, they call you like, okay, so guy, you are here. We want you to do a stand-up comedy for us. How much are you going to charge? You tell them, okay, fine. Can we meet tomorrow? Okay, fine, we can meet tomorrow. We meet tomorrow. The boardroom is full. So yes, this is who. Guys, this is Dr. Shakes. Dr. Shakes, please do what you'll be doing for us on the day. Do for you now. Like, you know, these guys, they don't really take us seriously because some of them, they come with if they ever wrote a script for you, because some of them, they come, we want you to talk about our general manager, our GM, but good things only, please. Good things only. And please research on this, Okay, guys, if your company deals with water, I'm gonna brush around water. I'm gonna advertise your company because you'll be having your customers here. I'm gonna tell them, how's this water good? How's this water? But then don't expect me to talk about the receptionist, sis Sandy Wendani, talk about the cleaner, sis Duyen. I don't work here. I don't know these people. I don't know the terms you use here. Like, you go and perform for the police services. Like, hey, please talk about our constables. Please talk about our station commander. I don't know your station commander. I only know that you deal with crime. And I'm going to tell people to stop doing crime. Like, it's hard.
The worst ones are the ones, the end of the year ones, where they'll have a party, it's all nice, and then they keep saying, once they say, no, my man, you're going to be towards the end. Kushubi. No, don't worry, we're going to put you towards the end. People are going to be told they are being retrenched and fired, and then you must go and make them laugh. Just after people have been told they are being retrenched and they are being fired, and then, now it's your turn. Go and make them laugh. Yo, comedy is not a joke, guys. Oh, comedy is not a joke. Utando Zindela, even when you start an innovative business 2 months later, hundreds other similar. Listen, when you drive and you see that one person selling mealies on the side of the road, or chicken or eggs, the next thing you come back next week, 500 people are selling exactly the same thing, exactly the same spot. Why do we do that?
So I think what she's talking about, I've seen it. It does happen because, our sisters here in Swaziland, mostly they go to small streets where group, and then they tell us, it's online shop. It's from no, it's small street. We know they come, they buy their sunshades and everything, come back here to sell. You find that the neighbor now is doing the same thing. Like, the black people, I don't know, we are lazy to think, because I always tell people, my business will not work for you. You might make money for the first 3-6 months, but then after that, I'm telling you, you don't have the mind that I have. You don't have, we don't have the same vision. What's it mean? In 5 months, I want to be here. In 6 months, I want to be there. Like, when are you just doing it because you are hustling? I'm not hustling. This is a business for me. I'm not a hustler. I'm a businessman. But then when I go to this one is doing this, now I'm gonna do this. This one is doing this, it needs to stop. You need to just find something that's gonna work for you. as I always tell people, I usually tell people, guys, you know what? Academics and education is not for everyone. It won't work for all of us. Some of us are just born to go out there and make it happen. Because there's someone who makes it happen. There's someone who asks, how did it happen? So, like, go to school, fine. Go to school, graduate. Don't go and look for a job. Start a job. Start a business. Because we have graduates out there who are now staying at home, waiting for the government. We always, as black people, blame the government. Our government is not doing anything for us. Our government. What are you doing for yourself? What are you doing for yourself? Other than just chilling, like you are always on WhatsApp, always on Facebook. Use that data to create a business plan. Use that data to contact people who will help you with your business. If you want to sell sweets, just go outside the gates and sell sweets. If you want to sell anything, just start now. If you don't start now, when are you going to start? It's good to start now than never starting.
Okay, the last point I want to talk about when it comes to where we perform in the performance. Do you do weddings? Have you ever performed at a wedding? What's your take on weddings, and what must people have in mind when they employ a comedian to come either perform or MC their wedding, or the dramas that happen?
In weddings, I've performed. Fortunately or unfortunately, I haven't been an MC, but I've performed. So the couple called me, like, Shakes, we need you to come and perform on our wedding and everything. And one of the things that stood out for me in this particular wedding is that I went there and the MC was there. Now the MC saw that there's Dr. Shakes in the program, like, oh shit, now I need to be funny. Like, he killed the wedding. Not like he killed just the comedians, kill on stage. Like, he just destroyed people's wedding, trying to be funny, trying to do, even with this thing, church conferences. If you have your MC there, please tell them, don't try to be funny, my guy. Just because you see a comedian on the program, don't try. So this guy, in this particular wedding, he tries to be funny, he kills everything. Like, people are now like, yo, guy, why are you under pressure? I go on stage, I perform. And now they're like, yo, so now people there. Can you take a selfie? Hey, you killed it, man. Hey. And then at Makoti, after the wedding, because you're booked by Makoti and Mkwenyana, they come to you. Yes, our people liked your performance. Please come and perform, because you performed before the reception and everything. Like, you're just welcoming people. So now can you please, because one thing, it's always the MCs. The MCs are always under pressure to be funny when there's a comedian on the program. Like, yo, now I need to be funny. There's Dr. Shakes here. Now I need to be funny. There's Thenjiwe. And you find that now they're destroying the event and everything. But weddings for me have been good.
For me, number one, I don't do weddings in South Africa. I stopped because it's such a hard job. They're never on time, and it requires you to be there for the whole day. I don't have the whole day. You're not paying me for the whole day. And then the uncles don't even know what you are here for. The minute they are told, listen, they think you are this assistant who must do everything, wash the dishes, Gogo hasn't eaten. It just becomes such a dramatic thing. And as they are running late while you are waiting, people are expecting you to keep them laughing. Keep them laughing for 4 hours. Take photos, keep them laughing. Take photos, keep them laughing. So I do not do them because they do not pay enough. And they always want to pay after the wedding. I'm like, how many other dates you going to have? They don't pay enough. And for them, they don't understand what we do. They don't understand how much money I'm losing by being here for the whole day. And I don't want to come to your wedding. And then now I seem like I'm the bridezilla at someone else's wedding. I'm the one who's asking for attention, because they don't care how you get there. They don't care where you're going to stay. They tell you the wedding will finish at 5, but believe you me, you're going to leave at 11 at night. There's no accommodation, there's nothing. So most of the time, the money they're going to pay you is going to end up being used towards the same event you came to. For me, and sometimes you see the couple as they invite you, but you're going to get divorced. Call me when you have a divorce party. I'll come to your divorce party. Having said that, I am obsessed and I am so fortunate to do Nigerian weddings. I love doing Nigerian weddings. Not only do they pay well, they understand the job of a comedian. I think when it comes to having comedians, they are way ahead of us. I love the food, of course, jollof rice, and I cook jollof rice tonight as well. And even the audience, you know, Nigerians, the ogas, they appreciate you. They don't laugh. That's why the Nigerian blessers don't laugh. Their money laughs. If you're making them laugh, they spray. They spray. And when they have weddings, they have proper weddings. And I've been very fortunate because I get nice wedding gigs, especially with Nigerians in the diaspora. So Nigerian wedding anytime. If you are Nigerian or getting married to a Nigerian, Thenjiwe is available. I'll cancel a tour, anything. And I enjoy their weddings, Jay. They are very nice. And I think we can learn a lot from them. And people understand, even couples understand. Okay. And you can't say, and jokes at a wedding, you never know what to say. We once emceed our friend's Stay's wedding with Usimpiwe Shem. Like, literally, every joke we said was offensive to someone. Don't talk about witches, you know, that's auntie sitting there. That's what she does for a living. You talk about blessers. Don't talk about blessers. You know the groom's sister. She's with the blesser. You talk about polygamy. Don't talk about polygamy. You know those ladies there. They are this man's wives. Both of them. They're gonna think you're talking to them. What are we gonna talk about? So no, I don't like weddings. Do not invite me to your wedding. Thank you very much. Invite me as a guest, but not as I like the ogas. Bring me ogas anytime. Oh.
Yes, the equals. Come on, the equals. You know, with weddings, really, as you said, it's usually the uncles. The first question that they have, that's the question. Like the old people when they come out for comedy shows in general. Okay, not usually comedy shows, but corporates, like weddings, like my conferences and everything. Like, then you have so it's usually like that's the best compliment to get, like comedy. Like so yes, I think I've made it. So every time you so when you get your you're just like, I made it. I made 1 year today, you know. So it's nice. But then I think I should try, and maybe if we do we have Nigerians in Swaziland? I don't. Okay, we do.
You have Nigerians everywhere. If you go to a country and there are no Nigerians, you must run. It means the economy has run out. And Nigerians are everywhere. You can go to China, you'll find Nigerians. You go to Vietnam, you find Nigerians hustling, having their own businesses. South African weddings, I'm sorry. This is us, the comedian, waiting for the wedding to start. No, thank you. You can keep your weddings.
I don't know why always the invitation card says the wedding will start at 9. You dress up, you go on stage as a comedian, you perform. Wedding's supposed to start at 9. You go and sit down, maybe the band plays, you look at your time, oh fuck, it's 12. Where's the wedding? Maybe you just hear one car, beep, you think it's the wedding, but they're just getting some kids off the road, like, okay, it was in the Mumkwenyana and everything, you know.
Listen, nisazolinda khona 2 hours nje kusancenga umkhonyane eseshintsha ingqondo. No, the groom, I don't know, I think his friends are such a bad influence. We've been telling him about Sipho. Now he doesn't want to get married. And now some auntie must rush and go to the Sangoma and tell her that, hey, give us some extra kushus, the groom, it's not working. Ooh. Gag. If you are getting married at Home Affairs, I'll come and do your wedding.
You remind me of one groom. This guy, it was his wedding. So, day before, they are with their friends, they're drinking and everything. Now it's time to wake up in the morning, they start drinking again. And then, what blackout? You black out about 9 a.m. during wedding day. Now, all they did, was just to wake him up. Guys, wake up. You say, happy me. They're not thinking about me. And he started turning on his friends. Like, they're not thinking about me. So, like, I don't know what happens my bachelor party and everything, but then I just want to have a wedding just for the bachelor party, not for the wedding. Just want to see what happens there, because the wedding, guys, it wasn't made for all of us. Some of us are made for alcohol, my friend. Thank you. Huh?
Guys, we have lived. Somebody wants to know we're gonna be there. Any moments when you died on stage, Dr. Shakes?
Oh, that was 2014 when I was starting comedy. I won't say it was dying, because when I started comedy, I was in school. So another school was hosting a concert. So I went there to perform. When I got there, they were using a cordless mic, because I think as a comedian, for me, I prefer cordless mics. So I can walk around the stage and everything. So I get there. And I didn't have that much knowledge about microphones. When the light is red, it means what? When the light is green, it means what? And when the light turns orange, it means what? So now I know everything. So I go on stage, the microphone is orange, obviously meaning that the battery is low. I greet the people are there. First of all, they're doubting, is this guy going to make us laugh? Like, kid, you're so young. Like, what are you doing here? You're supposed to be in class or anything. Blah, 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 blah. I'm starting the show. As I'm introducing myself, microphone dies. Now, someone in the audience was like, Memeta, shout! And I'm looking at the organizers, like, guys, and nobody like, God, my battery. We don't have extra batteries. I think that was the brave me who did this, but I just put the microphone down and walked away. And after a show, we usually go and take selfies with people. I just put the microphone down. I went straight home. But after that, I think you can bring any show. I can stand against anyone now. You can bring anything, because I believe those were moments that were making me those were moments that were making me to be me today, to be where I am.
Yeah, Mina, when it comes to dying on stage, there have been performances when I've walked away thinking, why did I even do it? And usually, because comedy is like music. We have different genres. Sometimes we end up performing for the wrong audience, sometimes for money, sometimes for lack of knowledge. And the longer you are in the game, the more you understand these things. Comedy has different genres in a way that, just like music has jazz, has gospel, has maskandi. That's why it's also very important when you book comedians, you know which comedians to put together as a promoter. Because you're not going to put Maufaku Puzekhemisi, not Beyonce. Those who are there for Ubi are not there for Puzekhemisi usually. So it becomes very, very difficult to entertain everyone. And I've learned that so much. So when you perform, sometimes, guys, you are performing and you're like, this is not my audience, and you end up saying jokes, you end up singing gospel knowing you are a jazz musician just to satisfy the audience, which is very bad for your career, because there might be that one person who sing you for the first time who's now going to think you are a gospel singer when you are not. So it's always very important to be selective of where you perform, who you perform for, and who you perform with. Because our comedy is different. There are shows where you walk in and you know, here there's going to be a lot of sex and swearing. So if I want this audience to laugh, I must just have sex jokes and swearing. Here, no intellect. If I try to be smart, I'm going to lose them. So you start saying those stupid jokes, but that's when the audience will laugh. And also, it also depends, because the comedian that goes on first and the MC, they set the tone. They set the tone. And as you sitting and listening, you're like, okay, this audience wants this. Okay, I'll give them that, but this is not me. That's why I love it when people come to my one-woman shows. That's when you see real Thenjiwe. That's when you see if you are not happy with it, walk away. I'll give you Thenjiwe. And usually it's people who really already know Thenjiwe and trust the brand, and they know what to expect. So it becomes easier for us when we do our own individual shows. But lineups, if you've seen a comedian doing lineups, it depends where we are, what time. Also, if you go to a show and you are put at you go there, they tell you the show is going to start at 7 and we're going to finish at 9, and then things happen because some shows are not professionally run. You end up going on stage at 2 a.m. The jokes you were going to say at 8 p.m. are not going to work at 2 a.m. So a lot of things determine what you say. So that you end up, even if you might not be dying, a lot of comedians who die literal deaths on stage are the ones who are driving an automatic car. Doesn't matter what's happening, I will say the jokes I came to say. But if you are willing to change gears, the audience will not see your death, but you inside, you know, this wasn't me.
This thing comes back to, as a comedian, people can come after a show, people can come and tell you, yo, you killed it, yo, you were good. But you know, because you're a true fan, you know, this wasn't my best performance, this wasn't me, this wasn't my best performance. You will know. Because as a comedian, I think, again, you need to be think fast. You see the reaction, like, come on, act on it. So if you are just a lazy comedian, you are like, you'd come with your script prepared, like 100% word for word, you know everything. You get there, you find like old people, like, shit, this wasn't for them, this is not for them. So what now? You can't tell the organizer, now you are sick. You can't tell the organizer, I can't talk now, I can't go on stage. Because your script is for 2000, now you are saying old people. You need to, like, as you said on our last video we did, comedians need to have their best 5. You need to have your best 10. You need, like, always be prepared, always be ready for anything. Because sometimes one person once said to me, okay, now we're coming back to the best 5 and best 10. One person said to me, yeah, you know what? As a comedian, you need to have the best 10s and best 5, because someone can just come and say, except go send in 10 minutes on this event. We have this man. You're not prepared. You say, I don't have jokes. Now you've lost your 20,000, like that. But if you have your best 10, like, please do this for us. We have this man. Okay, where's the stage? Where's the microphone? I'm ready. Like, always be ready. Always be willing. Like, put yourself first. Put you on number 1. Do yourself.
Yeah, it is very important, and it's very important to work hard enough to get to a stage where there are gigs that you can refuse, where you have gigs where you can say, not this one, not that I don't like the people, it doesn't suit me, it's not for me, but I think so and so would be a perfect fit for this show, because we get to also know each other as comedians, because you need to have a rhythm. And nothing trains you more than being a South African comedian. Most comedians from other African countries, it's standard, they perform in English. It's standard. Whereas with us, you don't even know what language you're going to perform in until you see your audience, until you walk on stage and see the audience. That's why I always say the guys who do the open mics and the MCs, they have the hardest job. Because when they come back, the first thing we ask, who's in the audience? Are they white people? Are they? Because now you need to change. Because you can't say, I mean, I'm still going to do my Zulu, I don't care. Because those are customers. Customer is always right. You don't want to chase money away. And sometimes it's black people. You start speaking Zulu and it's Nigerians and Zimbabweans. None of them can understand Zulu. Oh, it's Sotho people. Oh, sometimes you're like, okay, I'm performing in Johannesburg. I'm just going to do English because I do not speak the languages that most people speak. And then you get there and it's your Zulu people. Some of them even flew from Durban to come and see you in Joburg. And you never know. You don't go on stage prepared. It's easy for the guys who speak just English because they don't know wherever they go. It doesn't matter who's there. They're just going to speak English. But for us who speak Vernac, who do perform in Vernac, you never know what language you're going to use until you are actually on stage. But we learn. Even in Swaziland, I wasn't sure when I first went whether I was going to do Zulu, because I know the languages are very similar, but they're also very different. But it works. They love Zulu. And they don't complain also when you mix, which is beautiful.
Yeah, in Swaziland, this Nguni language is like they almost click Siswati, Sizulu. So, but then our Swazi people, but that's why, they easily relate to everything. Like we watch your SABC one, you watch your generations and everything. So we usually listen and read the subtitles. Oh, this word means this, so we know everything. I once hosted Siasea. Siasea came with when we were communicating with him. I was like, yo, manje Buddha yami, so mina musingenza isiXhosa, so the people they're going to understand. I was like, say, come, people are going to get you. You just come and do you. And he came, spoke his Xhosa, and till today people are still talking about Siasea. With yo lekak, you find lekak. So you just need to be you. Also, you talked about good say you need to if you're a gig, if you don't feel a gig, just move it on, pass it to someone else. I think Cinnamon somehow we need to we want to hold everything for us. What's okay? Okay. Now today they book me for a gig. They say the gig is at 2 p.m. They also I get another call. What's the gig? I have a gig at 2:30. I'm like I can make it from this place to this place. Like, come on, just call another one. Like, say, are you available? There's a gig like this.
The places are 45 minutes away from each other.
Exactly. You find that the places are 45 minutes away from each other. It's impossible, my guy. Just you get like pass the gig. If the gig is not yours, it's not yours. If the gig is for they want a white person. English. If it's an English gig, just call someone who you trust good success. This one kills with English. This one kills with, because as a comedian, you know your strengths and you know your weaknesses. What's okay. Mean if they can give me this audience, I know. If they give me this audience, I'd get the ha, not the ones that I want from audience A. So we know our strengths when it comes to audience. But because for me in Swaziland, there's a venue called Theatre Club. I know what it's in Babane. When I go and perform there, I know what but when you put me in a venue that's open, because Theatre Club is more like it's a theater. So when you put me in it, like people, the venues also they determine my performance for me. Okay, from this venue, I won't feel myself. When the crowd in Gaga, I won't be myself. But when it's a full house now, you'll see me.
The audience really does become part of the performance. and how they receive you and how they respond to your jokes also contribute to how good the performance becomes. They don't understand what they are such a big part of the performance. But before I let you go, we are 2 hours. Before I let you go, let's give people some comedy. I'm gonna ask you things that you would never say. Starting with things a pastor would never say.
A pastor will never say he had sex. He'll never say that. How are we answering this? But yeah, a pastor will never tell us, hey, wait, I'm still there. I'm still there. A pastor will never tell us, hey, Pastor, this one. A pastor will never tell us what he had sex. Nah. Things you'll never say
in court.
I wanted to be a lawyer, and one thing I want to say, manga caught me, but I know what the question is saying will never. But I want to say, no, I want to say that. But what I'll never, one thing you'll never say in court. One thing you'll never say in court. I think it's an insult.
You said you want to say.
Sorry?
Exactly what you said you want to say in court is one thing you would never say in court.
Yes, because yes. I don't know how lawyers argue Maravela without putting an insult. I mean, I've put one, like a throw one guy who's in Gandolo.
That a prostitute will never say.
As pinned, the prostitute will never say as pinned. Because time is money. No matter things
you would never say to a customer.
I never be rude to a customer. Never be rude to a customer. So being rude could say I'll never say. As a comedian, my audience is my customer. I never insult my customers. I'll never.
Things you should never say in a job interview.
Things you should never say in a job interview. I've never looked for a job before. Why do you need this job? I need this job because, why are these questions so difficult? Things you should never say in a job interview.
You know what's funny? You are saying the things as you are wondering what to say. Imagine at the job interview saying, these questions are too difficult.
Tell us about yourself. These questions are too difficult. Tell us about yourself. Things you should never say to a president.
In your case, let's make it things you should never say to a king.
Everything that's bad, never say them to a king. Never tell your king would say he's a bad leader. Never. Your king is always right. I love my king.
Things you should never say to a pregnant woman.
Never say those words to a pregnant woman. Or never ask a woman what's big, what's this, what's inside your stomach. Never. Pregnant women, they eat you and eat.
And last one, things you should never say to a COVID-19 positive person.
You'll die. You never tell them that they'll die because they're going there. Because they know. Don't remind them. Or never ask them why they touched their face. Never ask them why they didn't use a mask. Never ask them why didn't you sanitize your hand. Never ask them why didn't you keep it 1 meter distance. Why don't you social distance? Like never.
Look at Utulan Chabalala, Uzi, at a job interview must never say when his leave got. Kabang! You are at the interview already asking for leaves. Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Queen of Sports. This is a good one. Things you should never say to a comedian.
Never tell a comedian which is not funny. Never. Never tell a comedian which a comedian is not funny. Just die with it. Die with your thoughts. Die with your assumptions. Die with your opinion. Go and never tell, because once you tell a comedian which is not funny, guys, we are fragile inside. Guys, we are, guys. Once you break us, we break easily, guys. Like, come on, you handle with care. A comedian, you handle with care. Comedians are like angels. Comedians are heavenly sent. Comedians are God sent. Comedians are God people, guys.
And also, Queen of Sports, things you should never say to a comedian is, I've had that joke before.
Yo.
Oh, even worse. But so and so says that joke better.
Also, never tell a comedian to perform for you. Never tell a comedian I'm shining line the leads because they don't like it.
Hey, especially when you do interviews and they say, please leave us with a joke. Like, if I was a boxer, would you ask me to leave you with a punch? Why? Thank you so much, guys. Thank you so much. So thank you so much. You actually managed to stay with us with your internet a bit better. Thank you so much for staying with us till the end. I love each and every one of you guys. Please, if you have not subscribed to my YouTube channel, please do subscribe. And the Queen of Sports, tonight I'm gonna stay up and binge watch your YouTube channel. I'm gonna binge watch all your shows. If there are embarrassing shows that you don't want me to come back here and talk about, please make sure you hide them, you put them on private. Because tonight, that's exactly what I am doing. I am staying on your show and I'm staying on your channel. And guys, please do subscribe to the Queen of Sports and all other YouTubers that we have here on the platform. Dr. Shakes, I did put a link to his YouTube channel on the description as well as Kuma comments. Please do subscribe. Otherwise, sizonenza nje.
Yo, Limpopo mhlabelingana one thing. Yes. Yo.
Guys, we love you very much. Tomorrow at 4 p.m., not at 7, at 4 p.m., we have Meet the Kambule's cast reunion. Please do join us and be ready with all your questions. We will be having Ubabu Kambule, Ustembiso Kumalo. We will be having Umaki, Ucabangile Kumete. We'll be having Usamgelo Molo Odalusindi, and we will be having Umdura, who plays Udogotela. So please do make sure that you watch us tomorrow. It's going to be a nice show. It's going to be exciting. And of course, Mrs. Kambula is going to be there. I love you guys, and thank you for keeping us company and for allowing us to make this noise for you. Dr. Shakes, study advice. How do we flatten the curve? What advice can you leave us with?
Thank you so much, guys. Thank you for watching. Thank you for tuning in with us. It was great being with you. So interactive. Like my first time going live internationally, live shows, and having so many people who are so interactive. Like, wow. Thank you so much, guys. Please do remember to stay safe. Like, wash your hands, sanitize, don't touch your face, don't. Okay, social distance, yes, but then again, if there's a government person who's watching, yeah, please, guys, let's make this thing our new normal and we continue living with it. Be safe. Let's love each other.
Please subscribe to my YouTube channel for more videos. Subscription is free.